Hi everyone, Salesforce Development Day 9. Let's see what are we going to learn today. Today's agenda is we'll quickly go to the previous session review and we'll talk about the Apex tab panel, Visualforce tag, and what are the attributes of tab panel, and then Apex tab, Visualforce tag, and attributes of the Apex tab. And then we will talk about the Apex pageBlockTable, Visualforce tag and their attributes. Similarly, Apex page attributes, there are few attributes which are needed for the Apex pageBlockTable. And then Apex column, Visualforce tag and their attributes. Then finally, we'll have a quiz, assignment, and today's interview questions. Now, let's move on. Apex tab panel. Now, before that, what did we learn last class? Apex details, image tag, attributes, right? And user details, capturing the user details. What else we have learned? Right, detail page. And the last one which we have seen is background. VF underscore background, this one. We have seen this Visualforce page, which is with background color. Right. So today what we are going to do is if you switch to the classic, let's switch to the classic. In the classic, if you observe this tab, these all are tab bar or a tab, right? Now here, if I click on the charter, what is happening? It will be redirected to the charter and it is going to display the charter information. If I click on the account, right, account is displaying the different information. If I click on a contact is displaying the different information. Now if I click on this position, right, it will be highlighted and the other should be deactivated kind of a thing. It's not only the selected one will be highlighted with the color. Similarly, if I click on this opportunity, immediately position color will change and then opportunity highlighted. Right? Let's see how can we implement this tab. How can we implement this tab? And when we click on this, how we can make sure that it is highlighted with some color, right? Focus is directly going here, right? If I refresh, if I log in, focus is directly going to the home page, or sometimes focus is directly going to the leads page. Now we will see all those, how can we implement using the Visualforce page. Now in the Visualforce page, we have a concept called Apex table, tab panel, Apex tab panel. Apex tab panel it has an open and a close Visualforce tag. Right, by using this is basically a page area that displays the set of tabs. By using this Apex tab panel, I can display the different tabs like syntax, Apex tab panel. Inside this will have a set of tabs and then closing of Apex tab panel. Take a notes of it. Apex tab panel Visualforce tag. It has an open and close Visualforce tag. And this is by using this, we can display the set of tabs. By using this, we can display the set of tabs. And syntax is Apex tab panel. Within that, we will add a different tabs. And then we'll have a closed tab panel. Take a notes of it. Is it done? Okay, so let's move on. So let's take attributes. So attributes in the Apex tab panel. So by default ID is there, right? The ID is, we know this is the identification. The next attribute is a switch type. This is a switch type. So this method we use between the tab. This attribute we will use it between the tab. Now you can use the switch tab type equal to client or a server or a Ajax. If it is not specified by default, it will take it as a server. Now, how to use this, where to use it, what is, if I use this, what will happen, we will see as a practical. Now, next one is a selected tab. Selected tab is basically whenever you are selected any tab, right, by default, right, by default you wanted to, by loading the page, whenever we are loading the page, on loading the page, by default, I wanted to give a focus to the one tab. I wanted to give a focus to the one tab. For example, if I go here, as soon as I click on a refresh, what will happen? It is giving me the focus on the lead. Right? In case if you want to give a onload of the page, if you want to give a focus to the one tab and related information inside the tab, then we will say selected tab. And then we have a tab class. Tab class. So tab class is in case if you want to apply any styling, in case if you want to apply any styling for the active tabs, for active tabs. In case for inactive tabs, in case if you want to add any styling for inactive tab, you can use the inactive tab class. Now here tab class and inactive is nothing but whatever this lead is there. This is a tab class. What are the focus, styling, whatever is there, it is a tab class. Now rest all are inactive, right? So those are inactive tab class. Inactive tab class. And next we have a title. Title equal to the text to display the tooltip when the user mouse over is happening, like whenever you mouse over that, then it will show the title and you can adjust the height and width. These are the attributes. Now take a notes of it. Done. Let me know once you are done. Shall I move on? Okay. So let's say, for example, now here we are going to display all the tabs, right? Whenever we are displaying the tab, now here I have a tab. Here we have a tabs. Now within this we have a multiple tabs, like here it is a tab 1, here it is tab 1, and beside this one more tab. Now here it is another tab, and then we have another tab. Like this, we have a multiple tabs within the tab panel. Within the tab panel, we have a multiple tabs. Now, in this case, what is the tab panel is going to use? Tab panel is going to decide which one should be selected or which one should be highlighted if I select the tab 1. Now, for example, this is whatever we are talking about this one is a tab panel. This is a tab panel. Tab panel. And within that we have a, this is a tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, like this till we have some tabs are available. Now, whenever user select the tab, what will happen? It is going to immediately display this tab 1 related. In case if user select the tab 2, then it is going to display the tab 2 related information. In case user select the tab 3, then it is going to display the tab 3 information, right? So here tab panel is just kind of a information. In order to place the tab, we need a placeholder which is called as a tab panel. So on top level, we have a apex colon tab panel. Apex colon tab panel open, and then we have a closing of apex colon tab panel. Closing of apex colon tab panel. Now within this, I need to add tab 1, tab 2, right? I need to add a tab 3. Like that, I'm going to add till tab 4. Now, in tab 1, probably I'll show the image. When the user click on in tab 1, I'll show the image. When user click on the tab 2, then we will display the account information. Or when user click on it, tab 3, we are just going to display few fields of account. Tab 4 will keep it as a blank and deactive. Blank or disabled tab. Now these all I am going to implement right now. Now here tab panel is very high level, which is a parent. Within that we have a child. Child is a tab 1. Tab 1 is going to show the information of we are going to show some image or logo, and tab 2 we are going to display the account. Tab 3 we will be displaying the few accounts from the few fields from the account. Tab 4 is a disabled. User cannot click on the tab 4. So this is what we are going to implement. Right? When user click on a tab 4, nothing should be happen. When user click on a tab 1, when user click on a tab 1, it should show the image. If user click on a tab 2, it should show the account details. Right? When user click on the tab 3, it should show the few fields. It should show the few fields. And tab 4 is deactive. Tab 4 is deactive. User cannot click on the tab 4. So this is what we are going to implement. Now, so far whatever we have learned, that we know how to create a tab panel, because there is a Visualforce tag which by using this I can create a outer structure. But how can I create a individual tabs within this? How can I create a individual tab within this? In order to create a individual tab within the Apex tab panel, what we will do is use another we will use another one which is called as a Apex tab. We have another one which is called as a Apex tab. Apex tab is a self-closed. Apex tab is a self-closed. Now this self-closed one, it is a self-closed. And by using this, what we can do is we can implement a chained tabs within the Apex tab panel. That means syntax. First, it has to be a tab panel. Within that, we can use the how many tabs we want. We can use it and close the tab. So if you want to add a chained tab within the tab panel, then we have to use another tab, another Visualforce tag is called apex::tab. Apex::tab. Take a notes of it. Then okay, next we will see the attributes. Attributes are normally ID. ID is, we know that ID, identifier. Then we will talk about the label. Label equal to whatever the data or a text we wanted to display on the tab, then that name we will mention label equal to the text to display the header. And then we will specify the name of the tab in name attribute. And if you want to apply a style, then you can use the style attribute. And in case if you want to disable the tab, then we have to use the disabled equal to true. If we say disabled equal to true, then it will be disabled. Title, in case if you want to add a tooltip, then we can use the title. So take a notes of it, then we will start the implementation. Okay. Now let's move on. Now let's go ahead and implement the Visualforce page. Now, if you wanted to see what are the available Visualforce pages inside our organization, then what you need to do is you have to search here Visualforce page and click on the Visualforce page in Classic. Now, last whatever on 28th we have created the detail, user detail, and the class notes, all these things which we have implemented. Now, if you open the user details, just click on this user detail. And from here also you can click on the preview. Once you click on the preview, whatever we have implemented in the last class, we can be able to see those informations here. Right, it is displaying all this information. Now, today we are going to implement another Visualforce page. Let's click on new Visualforce page. Let's say VF underscore tab panel. Tab panel, click on OK. Now, the tab panel is most of the data we are displaying related to the account. Most of the data we are displaying related to the account. So what I'll use is standard controller equal to account. Standard controller equal to account. Now let's see here. I'll directly adding the apex colon tab panel. Apex colon tab panel. Within that, I'm adding the apex colon tab. Apex colon tab. This is one tab. Right, this could be a cell, this could be a open closed. Apex colon tab. And similarly, I'm going to add two more. Let's say I just added the tab panel. Within that, I have added the tab. Click on a preview. Now, what is happening? It is displaying this outer structure is a tab panel. This outer is a tab panel. Within that, it is showing that this is one tab, this is second tab, and this is third, and this is fourth. By default, the below text it is displaying related to the tab 1. Related to the tab 1. Right. Let me switch to the lightning. Right. It is displaying related to the tab 1. Now, how can I give what is the tab name, first tab and second tab, third tab? I need to specify the name of it. So let's say here I'm going to give we have one of the attribute which is called as a label. Label equal to, I'll say Swapna IT logo, and then second label, second tab label, let's say I'm going to this tab 2. So let's say I'm going to display the account owner details, account owner information, and the third one I'm going to display label equal to account information, right? Account information, and this tab panel. Fourth one is label equal to, let's say, the fourth tab is label equal to, let's say, other. Now let's click on save. Now, what it is displaying, this is logo, and this is account owner information, and this is account information, and here it is other information. Now let me give one of the account ID at the top. Right on top, I'm going to give ID equal to 18-digit ID. For this particular ID, Swapna logo, Swapna ID logo, account information, and account owner information, and other. Right? For example, in tab panel 1, in first tab, I'm going to display the logo. In order to display the logo, now, for example, I'll click on here within the tab, I'll add the images which we have implemented in the last time. Now let me open that. The Visualforce page, user details. Now the images, what are the images we have it? Now I'll copy these images and I'll use it within the first tab. Within the first tab, I'm going to use it. Now let's click on a save. Now on the tab, it is displaying both the images. Right? It is displaying both the images. This is on the first tab. And then I'll give a breakpoint here. Let's say inside the apex, let's say now here we have it to, if I go to the account information, now it is not displaying the logo. If I go to the account information, it is not displaying. Only if I go to the logo tab, then all the logos are displayed here. All the logos are displayed here. Now if I click on a owner information, the logo information is gone. Now if I click on the account information, nothing is displaying it. Right? Now let me refresh. File, open resource, tab panel. Right, we have a tab. Within the tab, I'm displaying the image. Within the tab, I'm displaying the image. Now, if you want to adjust the image, you can do all kind of styling. Right, if you want to be center, you can make a styling and make it as a center. That's all CSS. Right, and the next one is I wanted the account information. So what I'll do is within this tab, this is the first tab, this is the second tab. Within the second tab, I'm going to display the account owner information. So in order to display the account owner detail information, apex colon detail related list equal to false, and then I'll specify the subject equal to curly braces exclamation account dot owner ID. Now let's close this. Click on save. Now let me refresh this. Now logo is displaying the different logo. Now if I click on account information, now what is happening? All the account information is displaying. All the account owner information, user details, all the account owner information. This is the owner information. Right, we are not displaying the related list, just the owner information. This is account owner information. Now, for example, if I wanted to display the account information, now let's go ahead and implement. Now here for the account information, I'll say here apex colon detail, and here I'm going to specify the value equal to, I'll say, let's say rendered related list equal to false, and then will not specify here. How can we display the account ID? Account information. Now here logo is all the different logo, and when I click on the account owner, it is displaying the owner information. Now the account information, when I click on this account information, it is displaying all the account details. Right here it is a user details, and here it is account information. When I click on a other, it's not displaying anything. It is not displaying anything. Owner information, account information, logo. That means in one Visualforce page, I can implement, in case if you wanted to display the different information of specific object. If you want to display the specific object but different information in each tab, then in that case what you can do is you have to create a tab. Right, for each tab you need to display different information. For example, right now what is happening when I refresh it, by default it is going to the logo. By default it is going to the logo. For example, I want the by default it should go to the owner information. By default it should go to the owner information. Now this is the first tab. Now this is first tab. Tab 1. And next we have a tab 2. This is the tab 2, which is the owner information, and this is the tab 3, which is the account information, and then finally we have a tab 4, which is a other. Now by default it is going to the tab 1, but for example when I refresh it, it should land on to the tab 2. It should land on to the tab 2. Then in that case, in the tab panel, we have one of the attribute which is called as a selected tab. Selected tab equal to, I need to pass some name to selected tab. In order to pass the name, we have to use here name equal to, let's say this is tab 2. Name equal to tab 2. I'll pass it here tab 2. Let's click on it, save. Now let's refresh what is happening. Let's see. It is by default it is going to the tab 2. If I refresh it, by default it is going to the tab 2. If I remove this selected tab, if I remove this selected tab, Control S. Now I did not save this. Now if I say refresh, as soon as I click on a refresh, now it is going to the logo. But if I add a selected tab here, now it will go to the tab 2. Whatever the referral is there, this tab 2 is matching with any of the tab name. Now that tab will be automatically populated. That tab will be automatically populated. Now in case if you want to make the tab 4, right? If you want to make it as a disabled. Now in that case what you can see, you have a disabled equal to true. I want this tab to be there, but it should be disabled. It should be disabled. Now let's click on a refresh. Now here it is, it's a disabled. If I click on this also, nothing is happening. If I click on this, nothing is happening. Right? Now, all the tab colors are displaying common. Whether it is a selected tab, whether it is a not selected, whether it is a deactive, all the tabs are displaying the same color. Right? So I'm not able to identify which one is actually active and which one is not active. I don't know. So what I'll do is, I'll add a CSS. Whatever the selected tab is there, the selected tab should display the different color. And then whatever the inactive tabs, that means not selected tabs are there, those should be displayed in a different color. Let's say that selected tab. Let's click on it. Inspect selected tab. This is the selected tab. Selected tab should be displayed. Let's say Let me add the background color. Now background color, I'll add it on the tab panel. Background color. Let's see here, color. Let's take some color here. It is changing the tab panel color. Now I wanted the tab color. That is also changing the tab. This is the account information. That's the background color. This is the text color. Background top color. I'll take this color. Now let's take this. Now let me go ahead and implement. Now what I'll do is I'll implement the CSS. So let's say style equal to, I'll say here, I'm creating the class, which is a active is the class. For that class, we need to add the dot. Now here, I'm going to say background color, colon, some number I'm giving, whatever the copied number is there, that number I'm giving it. Now here, this is the one, and then we are going to update the color also. Which are the active ones are there, the color also should be changed. Color equal to, let's say, light gray, or let's say blue. And background image, none. No background image. Background image. Let's not put the background image. This is fine. What are the inactive ones are there? For the inactive ones also, I'm going to add it. Inactive. This is the inactive tab. And here also I'm going to add a background color and color. I'm going to add it. Now this background color, I'll change it. Let's say it's a light gray. And color, I'm going to add a maybe black color. Right, so this is the CSS that I have implemented. Now this CSS, I'll be adding to the tab panel. And be adding to the tab panel. In the tab panel, I have a something called tab class. Tab class is for the active one. So I'll add the active. Similarly, we have another attribute which is called as a inactive. Inactive tab class. For that, I'm going to add an inactive tag. Now let's click on a save. Now let's click on a preview. I'm going to add the ID. Now here it is displaying let me add the ID here. Question mark ID equal to this. Now what are the inactive ones are there? It is displaying the blue color. What are the active ones are there? It is displaying the blue color. Inactive one, it is displaying the normal color. Now let me show you this. Inspect. Now here it is now let's say background image equal to none. Now it is getting updated. Now it is getting updated. Let me add the background image because the background image is overwriting this. The background image equal to column none. And this is also background image equal to column none. Let me remove this. For now, disabled equal to 2. Now let's click on save. Now let's save this. Now let me pass the ID. Copy this. Pass the ID equal to 18-digit ID. Now what are the selected one is there? Selected one is displaying the different color, and whatever not selected ones are there, not selected one is displaying different color. Now if I click on this for number 4, it is displaying the active color. These all are inactive colors. If I click on this active information, rest all are inactive color, and this is displaying the active. And if I click on the other, now it is other also displaying the. That means what are the selected item, selected tab is there, it is displaying a different color, others are displaying a different color. So that we can identify which tab is selected right now. Right now I have selected the owner information. It is displaying the all owner details. All the owner details. Right, in case if you wanted to add, now let me change this color. Let me use this account information. Now this is at the tab panel level. This is at the tab panel level. In case if you want at the tab level, in case if you want at the tab level, for example, ID equal to 18-digit ID. Now here, this is at the tab level, it is displaying the information. It is displaying the information at the tab level. In case if I wanted the inside the tab, whatever right now we have added at the tab panel level, whatever we have added, this is at the tab panel level. But for example, I wanted to add at the tab level. I wanted to add at the tab level. In case if you want to add at the tab level, what you can do is, for example, let's say label other. Now here I am going to display the user details. Let's display the user details. In order to display the user details, what I'm going to do is, let me add some text here. Let's say, hello. Let's say, instead of hello, I'll just display the user first name, user dot first name, and user dot last name. We have already implemented this in the last class, so I'm going to copy that with the background image. So I'll copy this information there, copy this, let's paste it in the tab code. Now let's click on save. Now we have by default it is coming to the account owner information. If I click on other, now it is displaying the information here. Other information is displaying. For example, I wanted to add the tab level. Tab level I wanted to add. Let's say I'm adding here style equal to, I'll say background. What are the background color is there? Background color should be changed. Column, let's say orange. Let's click on save. Now if I click on this other, now it is changing the orange color. Now if you want to make changes to this, now you can update it. Now for example, now instead of this orange, I'll go for it. Right, you can select it from the inspect, which are the one you wanted. Now this is the one which is displaying correctly. Now let me use here in the style. In the style, I'll just say here, instead of this background equal to orange, I'll say background equal to background column, whatever this color is there. Right now it is displaying in the different color. Now you can apply it within the tab level also. Within the tab level also you can apply it. Now each tab, if you want each tab, you can make it each tab color differently. You can make it each tab color differently. Because at the tab level, now here you wanted to have a focus. Now this tab is a focus. Now if you want the focus to be true, I'll say here focus. If you wanted to know more information, what are the each one? Now let's go here, apex colon tab panel, apex colon tab panel. Now let's click on a tab panel, and within the tab, now we have a focus. What is the focus here? Child component in focus when the tab content is displayed. Now this is just you wanted to focus it or not. Right? So if I say focus equal to 2. Focus equal to true. Right? Now you will not see any differences because we already using the styling is there. Right, so the styling is already available, but only the thing is that just it will give you the some kind of a focus here. Now you can play with the different attributes. What are the attributes are there? Like on click, on complete, on key up, on mouse. Now these are the some keywords, but we will see these all further going on. Right now, just style class. If you want to apply any style class, right? And each tab should have a different color, everything you can apply it. But the concept here is how can we display the tab panel along with different tabs? Is that clear? Any questions? So here we have it. This is the tab panel. This is the tab panel. Within this we have it. This is one tab. This is the second tab. This is the third tab, and this is fourth tab. And each tab, what is the data needs to be displayed? We have added within the each tab. We have added the data. What needs to be displayed within the each tab we have added. Okay. So let's move on. The questions. Now, Apex detail used for
to display the detailed page of object.
right. To display the standard detail page of the particular object. Example for global variable, how to capture the global variable in Visualforce page.
The help of dollar symbol.
Global variable, how to capture the global variable in the Visualforce page. Dollar resource is the one and other. For example, you wanted to get the organization name. Right, it has to be with curly braces, exclamation, dollar user dot first name, curly braces, exclamation, profile dot name, curly braces, exclamation, organization dot name. And which Visualforce tag do we use to display the image on the Visualforce page?
Apex image.
Apex image. How to implement Apex tab in Visualforce page?
tabPanel.
Right, within the tab panel, we have to specify the Apex colon tab. So by using the parent tab panel, we have to mention the child Apex colon tab. Now take a assignment here. Implement a Visualforce page to display the opportunity details, which should not have a related list. We should not have related list. Now show charter, whatever the show charter is there, show charter should be displayed, and then it should display the image. It should display the image on top of it. Then it has to display the profile information. Now here on top, it should be the show header, show charter, and then it should display the image, and then it should display the profile. This is the profile details. This is profile details, and then it should display the, and after that we have a division. Inside the division, it should display the organization and then profile as well as the user details. Organization, profile, user details, and then below that we have to display the opportunity details page. Opportunity details page. Take a notes of it.
So each section should be displayed in different tab, right? Not like the shown in screenshot.
No, this is a single. There is no tab here. There is no tab. In single page, these all details has to be displayed.
Ma'am, here show feed is also considered as a tab only, right?
Show field is part of the show charter. When you go to the classic, now here, let's go to the classic. Now what did he say? Show field. This is the charter part of it. Hide field, show field. When you go to the account, in the account, there is a option which is available here. Now if you open the option, now here you have a show field, which is a show charter information. Show charter information. Show charter information. So this is what we wanted to display in the homework. Whenever you say show charter equal to true, the charter information should be displayed. By clicking on this, the charter information should be expanded. And when you click on this, it should be hidden. Now same option which is available here also. So when you click on this show field, it should show the field. And when you click on the hide the field, it should hide the field. That you can implement using the show charter, which we have discussed yesterday.
Ma'am, in Visualforce pages, as we show the detail pages, so we can have different page layout. So is there a way that we can select a particular page layout to be displayed?
Layout we cannot display. You cannot specify the layout. You can just specify the detail.
Okay, so all fields will get be displayed on this detail page, whatever fields are available on object.
Yes.
So if we want to hide some fields or something like that, we need to again customize. We cannot use the standard detailed page.
Right.
Is it?
So if
Okay.
you want to make a changes to this, some fields if you do not want to display it, then that has to be customized. Now if we go to the apex detail, inline editing on completed related list, over, renderer, show charter, subject, title. It doesn't say that the layout, that which layout should I need to keep it. Right? It does not have any standard attribute is not there. Salesforce has not given any standard attribute. But if you want to make a changes to the detail page, then what you can do is you can customize it. You have to implement either Apex page or different way to implementation. Usually we will go with the Apex page and we will go for it, just showing the information, only whatever the information that I need. In that case, you need not to go with the Apex detail. You should not be going with the Apex detail. In that case, you will be going the Apex output field. Apex output field. If you use the output field, now whatever the field you want, only those fields can be displayed. If you
Okay, but that way again the code will not adapt the standard functionality. I mean, how the standard page looks like.
Yeah, that's true. So if you want to display only few fields, then better do not go with the detail page. Only go with the output field, which displays only few fields.
Okay.
Now, let's go back here. Now, this is the assignment 1. Now, assignment 2. Implement a Visualforce page to display the data in 4 tabs. That means tab 1, display the Salesforce logo or any image. We'll display the Salesforce logo in the first tab. Tab 2, account details. Tab 2, account details, and the background color also should be changed. Whatever the background color is there, the color should be changed here. And tab 3 should display the only few fields of the opportunity. Now here it is complicated. No, I just wanted to see how you guys will implement it. Tab 3 is display few fields on the opportunity. You have to bring the opportunity details here. First one is a say account details. Tab 1 is a image. Tab 2 is a account details. Tab 3 is, when I say tab 2 account details, whatever you have implemented here, the page, right? This page should be displayed in the tab 2. And tab 3 should display the another Visualforce page which is having the opportunity information. Fine. Tab 4 is other, which is a blank. Or you can just disable this. Taking the notes. No, there is no limitation. But only thing is that your Visualforce page length, there is a limitation on the Visualforce page. Let's move on. Right, so if you go to the Visualforce page, setup, let's search here Visualforce page. No, there is a no restriction on this. What are the, how many components or how many tags can I use it within the single Visualforce page? There is a no restriction. But your Visualforce page, what are the Visualforce page is there? This page should not exceed more than 15 MB. Should not exceed more than 15 MB. That means maximum the size of this should be maximum size of this Visualforce page should be go to up to 15 MB. If you go more than 15 MB, the size is more than 15 MB, then immediately Salesforce is going to throw an error. That means whatever the responses, request, whatever you are sending it, either you are sending to another Apex page or another Visualforce page, whatever the request responses, the size, whatever the size is there, that size has to be is 15 MB. The size has to be 15 MB, not more than that.
So size will be dependent on whatever content we add into the page, is it?
Right, that is also depending on that. If you are adding the huge data in this panel, then it will be a, if you are writing the only, for example, you are just writing the 40 lines of it, but inside this 40 lines of it, you have added the for loop. If you added the for loop and a lot of data you are getting, keep on getting the responses from the Apex, then it is exceeding the size of 15 MB. In that case, it is going to throw an error. Right, so let's go ahead and see a few more tabs. Now here, Apex colon page block table. Apex colon page block table. Now Apex colon page block table Visualforce tab. Now what is this tag? Now whenever you go to any object, for example, I'm going to this object all customer. Now if you observe this, this is, let's take a skipping of this. Now this is a table format. This is table format. Now here you have a table format. Now in this table format, if you observe, this is the table format. In this table format, on top says header, and then it says whatever the action is there, this is one column, and the account name is another column. Account name is another column, right? And then we have a industry is another column. Industry is another column. Then we have an email. Like this, every field or every column, basically in Salesforce, if you go to the classic is divided into the a table rows and column. Whatever the data is present inside the Salesforce, everything is in terms of a table rows and columns. Now, if you want to implement this table structure using the Salesforce, you wanted to implement a table structure using the Salesforce. Now, in case if you wanted to implement this table structure using the Salesforce, then how can we implement? Now, we have a concept in the Salesforce which is called as a Apex colon page block table. Apex colon page block table. Apex colon page block table. Now, this Apex colon page block table is it's a Visualforce tag. It displays basically this is used to display the table. It is used to display the table. And this Apex page block table is used either within the Apex colon page block. You can directly use within the Apex colon page block, or else you have to use it within the Apex colon page block section. You have to use within the Apex colon page block section. You cannot use it outside of this. You cannot use outside of this. Either you need to use the page block table within the page block table, you need to use it within the page block, or else you need to use within the page block section, or else you need to use the page block section. Now you cannot use it outside of this. It has to be a parent, has to be a page block, either page block section. Then only we can implement the page block table. Right? Now, if you look at the inside the Salesforce, by default, usually by default, it will display the 25 records or 40 records or 5 records. It's depending on what is the configuration you have at the bottom. What is the configuration you have at the bottom? Like you have a flexibility that do you want to display the 100 records in single page, or do you want to display the 25 records, right? Now, when you select 100 records, but it is can go maximum of 42. Maximum of 42. Similarly, Visualforce is also having a maximum of 20 records. Maximum of 20 records. Initially, it was a 20 records in the Salesforce Classic also. Now they have increased to the 42. Now, if you select 100 records or 200 records, if you want to display here, but whatever you have selected it, but the limit for this classic is a 42. Limit for the classic is 42. Similarly, Visualforce is also having a limit of 20 records. It maximum display the 20 records. Maybe now initially here also 20 records was there. Now they have changed it to 42. Now let's say Visualforce tag also changed 20 to 42, or it is still supporting the 20 records. Now, that's a concept here, Visualforce page. By using this, there is a only limit, the limit of the record, only some records it is going to display. Right, we will see what is the limit. If it was 20 records, maybe right now they have changed to 42 in the classic. Possibility that pageBlockTable is also limit has exceeded to the 42. Now that we will see right now. Now let's go ahead and see the information. So Apex pageBlockTable, we use it within the either pageBlock or a pageBlock section. And what are the standard controller is, initially it used to be 20 records, now it is 42 records. Now same with the Visualforce page, which is called as the Apex page block table. Now this is also initially 20 records it used to display. Default it used to display the 20 records. Now to control the number of records displayed in the each page, we need to use the extension controller. On the page, we need to use the extension. Now, this extension part, we will see when we go for Apex. We will go for Apex. Now, in order to increase, like first by default, it is displaying the 20 records or 42 records. Now, I want to go to the next page. When we want to go to the next page, but in order to go to the next page, you need to implement a Apex component. Standard using this Visualforce tag, it is not possible. Standard using this, which is not possible. There is some customization which we have to do. In case if you wanted to implement a pagination. When I say pagination is nothing but right now it is displaying the 42 records. Right now it is displaying the right now it is displaying the 10 records. Now if I click on this next button, it will go to the next 10 records. And if I click on the next button, it will go to the next records. Now, basically, I have a total records of 42 records. Total, I have 42 records. That's the reason it is limiting to display only 42 records. Limiting to display only 42 records. Now, this kind of a pagination, we can also do it in the Visualforce page, but it's required the Apex help. It's required the Apex help. Directly, just in the Visualforce tag, I cannot do it. Just in the Visualforce tag, I cannot do it. Now for custom controller, maximum it can display 1000 records. Maximum it can if you use a custom custom implementation or a custom controller, in a single page, it can display maximum of 1000 records. Take a notes of it. Now, let's move on. Attributes within the page block table is we have a value. Value is in case if you wanted to provide the collection of data. Because in the table, if you wanted to display the data, you need to have a collection of records. You need to have a collection of records. It's not a single record. It's not a single record. What it is displaying, it is displaying the collection of data here. Collection of data. In order to display this collection of data, we have to use the attribute called value. We have to use attribute called value. And when you have a collection of data, right? Now, but this value is containing the multiple records. Value is containing the multiple records. Now, this multiple records, I wanted to divide into the each record. I wanted to divide into the each record. For that, what we are using is we have another attribute which is called as a var. Another attribute which is called as a var. Now, var equal to, we will specify some name to it by using this var variable. By using this, what are the name is declared within the var? What are the name which is declared within the var? By using that name, we will display the each record. Right? So first it has to go to the first record. First it has to go to the first record. So var will contain the complete information of the first record. Now once it is done, then again the var will take the second record. And then once it is completed the second record, var will be taking the third record. Like that, each record it will take one by one. Each record it will take one by one. So var is a string, the name of the variable that represents the one element in the collection of data specified in the value. And next attribute says we have a cell padding, cell spacing in case if you want to add a space between the border, right? Or if you want to add a space between the each cell, then in that case you can use a cell padding and cell spacing. And first is a string. This will specify the from which index record should be displayed. Do you want to display the records from the 0th index? Do you want to display the records from the 20th index? Or do you want to display the records in the 40th record? Because in the database, now whenever the record is stored inside the database, the first one is called as a 0th index. The first record is called as a 0th index. So it starts with 0th index and then it will start with 1, second, third, like this it will be keep on increasing it. The first record always starts from 0th record in the database, right? So here, now in this case, what we are going to do is, now we will be using the attribute which is called as a apex colon page block table. Apex colon page block table. Now let's see, let's take a notes of it, then we will see. We will discuss that later, Venkatesh, that I have already mentioned. Let me know once it is done. What do you mean by local storage concept in SF? We will cover it, just hold on it for that. Now, whatever you guys are asking, those are very forward questions. Because we have not yet discussed the apex. Taken the notes? Okay. Now let's go ahead and implement. Now let me take this page block table. Now file new Visualforce page. VF underscore page block table. Now I'm going to display the account details. So I'm going to use the standard controller equal to account. Within this, I need to use the apex colon page block table and apex colon page block table. Now apex colon page block table. Now if I try to save this, what it is saying that it is missing the required field, right? So it has some required field. Now value equal to, and what is the value that I need to pass? I need to pass the collection of records. But where is the collection of records from? Where should I need to take the collection of records here? Where should I need to take the collection of records? If I say standard controller equal to account, right? If I go to the tab panel, standard controller equal to account. Now when I click on the preview, what is happened? It is taking the single record. It is taking the single record. But if I wanted to display the multiple record, we have to definitely use the standard controller equal to account, but this will accept the single record. What is the thing that I need to take it? Now I need to capture the multiple records. Now who will pass the multiple records to the apex page block table? Who will pass the multiple records to the apex page block table? Now let's understand. Let's go to the apex page. In the apex page, we have another attribute which is called as a record set var. Record set var. This is especially used for the page block table. Now here, what are the value is there? For this value, we need to provide the list of accounts. In order to provide the list of accounts, a record set var is going to help the page block table. Record set var is going to help the page block table in order to pass the collection of records. Now let's see how can we use that attribute. Here I'll say that record set var. Now I'm going to specify here. You can give any name. You can give any name. And record set var is holds the collection of records. Now that ACCTS I can provide it here. ACCTS I can provide it. Now after that we have this is the collection of records. Now what are the collection of records that we have? What are the collection of records that we have? Each collection of record, what we can do is take the individual record from the collection of record. In order to take the individual record, I'm going to use the attribute called var ACC. Now here Apex page block table. In the Apex page block table, I have given the value which is holding the collection of records. Who is passing the collection of records? Now, a record set var is passing the collection of records to the Apex page block table. And then it has a var from the collection of records. I'm again dividing into the individual record. I'm going with the individual records. I'm going with the individual records. Now it is giving me the error because page block table should be, it has to be within the Apex page block or it has to be within the Apex page block section. Now let me add the Apex page block, Apex colon page block. Now within this page block, we are going to add the page block table. Right, and then let's save it. Now it is saved. It is saved. Let's click on a preview. Simply it is displaying the, let me switch to the light. Now what it is displaying, it is just displaying the table. It is just displaying the table. Now this is the table. This is table. It is simply displaying the table. There is no column, no rows, nothing is there. Just a table it is displaying. Just a table it is displaying, which is linked to the account, because we have given the standard controller equal to account. Right? Now if I click on again preview, now it is just simply displaying the table. Now inside this table, I need to add a column. Maybe I can add 3 columns, 4 columns, it's up to the developer, how many columns the developer wants to add it. Right? Now here I need to add a column. Now in order to add a column inside the table, we have another attribute which is called as a apex colon column. Apex colon column is another Visualforce tag. It will display the data in a single column in a table. Apex column is used only within the Apex page block table. Right? And an Apex column component must always be child of the either data table or a page block table. Only these 2 tables, it is going to be the child component, child Visualforce tag. Apart from these 2, we cannot use it any other parent component. Apex column component must be within the data table or a page block table. Now, whatever the associated label for the field is used for the column header by default. Whatever this column is there, it will display the column header as well as the value. Now there are few attributes within this. Now let's see here. Value is the one, whatever the text should be displayed in the entry cell of the column. Now style, if you want to apply a style to column or a style class, if you want to call the class, then you can use a style class. And then we have a rendered. Rendered is nothing but it is basically a Boolean value, it is expected. This rendered is nothing but if you wanted to refresh whenever some updates are happening, you wanted to render this page. Now this we will see later, this attribute. Now next one, we have a header value and the width. Now let's go ahead and see the example so that you can understand. Now first what I'll use is value. Now within this, I'm going to use the apex colon column. Apex column, it's a self-closed and the value equal to, for example, I wanted to display the curly braces exclamation ACC, whatever the single record variable name is there, that name dot name. Right? Similarly, I wanted to create another column where it is displaying the account number. Let's say ACC dot account number. Now we have a few more fields inside the Apex, inside the account. Now ACC dot phone. These all are API field names. These all are API field names. ACC dot industry. ACC dot industry. Now let's go ahead and check what are the fields are there. Edit object. Now inside the account object, let's go here, fields and relationship. Then we have something called industry we have taken. Yeah, industry we have taken. And then I can go for a type. Let's copy this type. Apex column value equal to double quotes, curly braces, exclamation, ACC dot type. And it is a self-closed. Now here, if you want any other field, now let's take phone we have taken, number of employees, let's take the number of employees. Apex column value equal to double quotes, curly braces, exclamation, ACC dot number of employees, ACC dot number of employees, and then it is a self-closed. It is a self-closed. Apex column. Now let's save it. Now let's refresh this page. What is happening? It is displaying the how many records it is displaying. It is just displaying the 20 records. The limit is 20 records. I did not specify anywhere how many records should be displayed. How many records are there in the account? In the account, it has a 42 records are there. But how many records are displayed in the Salesforce? It is just displaying the Visualforce page. It is just displaying the 20 records. It is just displaying the 20 records. Let's sort it with the name. It started with audit and it is displaying up to new test 1, 2, 3. New test 1, 2, 3. It started with audit and it is ending with new test 1, 2, 3. After that, it is not displaying the data. After that, it is not displaying any data. Right, this is the account table. Account name, account number, phone, industry, type, employee. These are the, did we mention anywhere the value? No, I have not mentioned anywhere the header name. I have not mentioned anywhere the header name and the account number, phone number, industry, type. It is automatically capturing all the information. It is automatically capturing all the information. What are the information that are available within the account? It is capturing all the information and displaying up to 20 records. Up to, it is displaying the 20 records. Right now, in case on top, if I wanted to add a page block section, Apex column, page block section. And I'll say title. Let me close this. Now within this, I'll say title equal to account table information. Account table information. Let's send this at the cut, and after the page block table, let's end this. Control V, Control A, Shift Tab, and let's say. Now it is displaying the account table. Now let me say here column equal to 1. because by default it is adjusting everything into the column equal to 1. Let's say it is displaying the account table information, and below we have a account name, account number, phone, industry, type, employee. Any questions on the account table?
Ma'am, so in the that line number 4, we have value and var. So for value, we have used the curly braces and exclamatory, and for var, we have not used that.
Yeah.
So how we can decide like for which attribute we need to pass the curly braces and the exclamatory mark?
Yeah, so this is a standard Salesforce declaration here. Now, var is just, I'm giving a name to it. For example, here record set var. Wherever you see the var is included in the word, that means we need not to add a curly braces explanation. Curly braces explanation is needed in case if I wanted to capture the data from object level. Right? In case if I wanted to capture the object level, then I need a curly braces exclamation. Now, once I capture the information, I'm giving a name to it. So var does not have a curly braces exclamation, but when you are referring the next time, when you are referring this here in the next time, that's how you need to specify the curly braces exclamation so that it will go to the object and get that particular record and display the record. Var is a variable name. It's just a variable name. There is some container which has a collection of information. Some container which has a collection of information. For example, let's say that here I have some container. In this container, I have a collection of records. Now this container name I have given as a ACC. Actual this container name is ACCTS. But if you want a single record from this container, then I have given a variable to the ACC. Now by using this ACC, you can pull one by one record from this container.
Okay.
Right, so pagination is, that's what I have mentioned, but pagination, it is possible, we can do it, but I need to call the apex. Because why I need to call the apex is somebody has to hold the data. For example, I have a previous button, next button. I have a previous button and a next button. Here I have a previous button and then I have a next button. I have a next button. When I click on a next button, it should display the latest records. For example, first record, it is displaying the 10 records here. When I click on a next button, it should show me the 10 records. But somebody has to hold this, what was their previous 10 records? What was there in the previous 10 records? Because if suddenly I click on a previous button, it should show the previous 10 records. Right? So we will do it. Don't worry about it. Pagination, everything we will do it. But this is the basic of the page block table. This is the basic of the page block table. We will do all the pagination, next button, previous button, storing the previous data somewhere, and again bringing that, because as soon as I click on a preview, it should immediately bring this. And there is another button which is called as a first here, another button which is called as a first, and here it is a last. Now suddenly from the last to first, I'm right now on the first page. If I click on the last button, it will take me to the last page. And suddenly if I click on the first button, it should take me back to the first page. What are the, like I have a 10 pages are there, 10 pages are there. 10th page is the last one and first page is the first one. Now in between, what are the pages are there? It has to jump. From the 10, it has to jump back to the 1. From 1, I'm jumping to the 10th one directly. Right? These all, somebody has to remember at the back end. Somebody has to remember at the back end. So that we will do it later. No. By default, it will take the. What do you mean by it is showing multiple columns? Table itself is a multiple columns.
Here you have mentioned column as one, right? But even we are using column tab. It is not needed to mention the column attribute in the page block section, right, ma'am?
If I do not specify the column 1, by default, what it will take? By default, how many columns it will take?
It will take as per the column apex column tab.
It will take 2 columns. If you do
Okay.
not specify the columns, by default, page block section structure is a default, it will take the 2 columns. This is 1 column, the other one is a 2 columns. This is 1 column and this is the another column. That is the default behavior of the page block section.
Okay, got it, ma'am.
And that's the reason we have specified that don't use the default column structure, use the columns equal to 1.
Ma'am, simultaneously, I am trying the same in my OR itself. So I have tried the same code for this table, but I can only see the one record on page. What can be the
Okay.
reason behind this?
Are you using the page block section?
Oh, yes.
Are you using the page block?
Yes.
Can you send me your code?
Yeah.
If you are closing it here, okay, I'm not using the columns. I'm simply closing the code directly here. I'm closing the page block section directly there. Now it will not, I need not to specify the column because I'm opening the page block section here and I'm closing the page block section. Whatever the code you have used the column equal to 1. You have specified the column equal to 1. Sometimes few developers directly write a page block section open and a close here. In that case, it will not consider. I'm saying if you are using the page block section. Now when you are opening and closing here, what is the point of it? Because this is a one page block section. You are directly opening and closing it. This is one. Now just see there is a thin line here. There is a thin line between the. Now if you close this, anything is happening here. There is no link between the page block section and page block table. There is a no link here. If I close it, open it, nothing is happening. Because you have added the page block. You have added the page block, I agree that. But you are closing it immediately. You are closing it immediately. If you do not close it, if you are closing it immediately, what is the point of it? So if you want to add a page block section, table has to be there within the page block section. Then in that case, add it here. So that what will happen is if you close this, right, entire the data will be closed. That means you can say right now your table is within the page block. Your table is within the page block. And what are the code that you have sent me? The code has here columns equal to 1. That's the reason it is displaying in the single column.
My concern is not about the column. My concern is it is only showing one record. I mean, one row for one account.
Only one record it is showing.
Yes.
How many records are there in your system?
Yes, I have many of them.
Okay, standard controller account, the record set were ACC list and page block section, value equal to ACC list, var equal to ACC, name, website, phone, industry, type, number of employees. Now you are closing the page block here, page block section here, and then page block and the apex. Click on preview. It is displaying the data. Last page block.
But in my case also, I have like multiple accounts.
Okay. Did you implemented any security?
No, not really. I mean,
You
this
might
is
be implemented the security during the admin. Check the OWD concept, whether it is a private or what is this? Restricted to view the another member restricted to view the multiple other records. Maybe you have a security is implemented in your org, but the code is displaying the everything perfectly fine.
okay. I'll check that. Thank you.
See if it does not resolve it, we will see tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
And the homework, implement a Visualforce page to display the contact information in table format. First name, last name, email, mobile phone. First name, last name, email, mobile phone. These all are the contact information. Right? So that's all for today.